In May of this year, the United States announced tariffs on some vital imports from China, including electric vehicles and semiconductors. The European Union followed suit, opening an anti-subsidy probe against Chinese imported vehicles. Even Canada, which has historically maintained a relatively stable trading relationship with China, has joined the list of countries banning Chinese imports. In August of this year, the Canadian Ministry of Finance proposed duties of up to 100% on Chinese electric vehicles and a 25% duty on steel and aluminum products. Many observers anticipated at the time that these tough regulations would have a significant impact on China's industrial industry. However, less than a day after Canada announced these tax increases, China replied firmly by launching 4 countermeasures in quick succession. According to industry insiders, one of the countermeasures might cause Canada to lose over $950 million directly. What baffles us is why Canada suddenly imposed harsh tariffs on Chinese electric automobiles. What kind of counter-sanctions has China imposed against Canada now? If you enjoy our video content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive all of our current videos. Now let's get into today's topic. We are all aware that China's electric vehicles have become quite popular around the world in recent years, owing to their significant cost advantage. China's electric car exports have now reached over 180 nations and regions, including practically the whole world, including Europe, Asia, Oceania, America, and Africa. According to estimates, China's total automotive exports will exceed 2.5 million in 2022, a significant rise of 56.7% over the previous year. Among these, exports of new energy cars increased by more than tripling to 680,000. Of course, China's new energy cars are very attractive in the domestic market. The production and sales volume in 2022 reached 7.05 million. And it has been rated top in the globe for the past 8 years. By 2023, this impetus has not lessened, but rather increased. Data reveal that China's total automotive exports increased to 4.6 million vehicles that year, with new energy vehicle shipments reaching 1.2 million, a 77.6% rise, exceeding the previous record. This significant growth momentum did not end in 2024. Data reveal that China's automobile exports surged by more than 30% in the first half of the year, totaling 2.79 million vehicles. These results demonstrate that China's electric vehicles are not only popular in the worldwide market, but are also being recognized by an increasing number of consumers. However, it is important to note that China's exports of new energy electric vehicles are primarily centered in established markets such as Europe and the United States. Such rapid rise drew the attention and concern of Western governments. They became concerned that China's electric vehicles would progressively enter or perhaps control their local markets by taking advantage of their lower prices. After all, the large-scale entry of Chinese automakers has already had a significant impact on these countries' domestic auto industry. To address this difficulty, the United States declared in May of this year that it would raise taxes on China's new energy electric vehicles from 25% to 100%. So after the U.S. began to sanction Chinese electric vehicles, the European Union announced that it would launch anti-dumping and anti-subsidy investigations into Chinese electric vehicles, as well as imposing tariffs of 17%, 19.3%, and 36.3% on major automakers such as BYD, Geely, and SAIC Group, respectively. It is worth mentioning that once the United States and the European Union took action, Canada swiftly followed suit, imposing tariffs of up to 100% on Chinese electric vehicles. But here's the problem. The European Union, as the primary export market for Chinese automobiles, should follow suit to defend its domestic sector. But why should Canada, which relies heavily on the United States for auto supply, join this action against China? As far as I know, Canada is the world's second-largest sovereign country. However, in many matters, it consistently follows the lead of the United States. When the Canadian foreign minister was asked to visit China in July of this year, he consistently stressed that he would not put pressure on China about electric vehicle tariffs. Surprisingly, just over a month later, in August 2024, the Canadian government produced a statement indicating that electric vehicles imported from China would face a 100% tariff starting October 1st. Furthermore, on October 15th, steel and aluminum items from China would be subject to a 25% duty. This tariff adjustment covers a wide range of products, including 23 tariff items for electric vehicles, 163 tariff items for steel, and 19 tariff items for aluminum, for a total of 205 items. The Canadian Ministry of Finance noted in a statement that the high tariffs were imposed as a trade protection tool to protect the development of domestic automakers. According to research, Canada's automobile industry manufactures more than 1.5 million vehicles per year, contributing over $18 billion to the GDP. Although Canada's vehicle output appears to be significant, figures show that more than 90% of it is eventually sold to the United States. On the surface, the introduction of Chinese electric vehicles does not appear to have a significant impact on the Canadian market. According to import data, Canada imports few electric automobiles from China. In 2023, Canada imported over $7 billion in electric vehicles, with $2.6 billion coming from the United States and just about 41,000 coming from China, for a total of $1.6 billion. Furthermore, the majority of these electric vehicles from China are Teslas manufactured and exported in China, and genuine Chinese local brand electric vehicles have yet to penetrate the Canadian market on a substantial scale. As a result, if Canada claims that it is imposing restrictions on China to preserve its auto industry, the justification is untenable. The reason why Canada abruptly implemented this legislation is quite simple. Just one day before Canada revealed its decision, U.S. National Security Advisor Sullivan paid a visit to the country and met with Prime Minister Trudeau. According to insiders, Sullivan stated during the meetings that he hoped Canada would stay up with the United States in the field of electric vehicles and exert some trade pressure on China. As a close partner of the United States, Canada is likely to coordinate its position with the United States in this context before deciding to impose comparable restrictions on China in the automobile sector. However, everyone is aware that China places a high value on the automotive business. Thus, they cannot afford to suffer a loss in silence. Less than 24 hours after Canada imposed the sanctions, China launched 4 responses in quick succession. The most notable of these is the start of an anti-dumping probe into Canadian canola imports. China did this because the Canadian canola seeds themselves were of poor grade and were unclean. Furthermore, the persistent low pricing of Canadian canola seeds has resulted in unfair competition, causing significant pressure and losses for Chinese local canola producers. Therefore, China has compelling reasons to launch this investigation. According to available data, Canada is not just the world's largest rapeseed producer, but also one of the major rapeseed exporters. In 2023, Canada's rapeseed production was approximately 18.3 million tons, with 8.6 million tons exported, 3.4 million tons more than the previous year, and accounting for 51% of global rapeseed exports. Rapeseed exports provide significant economic advantages to Canada while also creating a huge number of jobs. According to the data we collected, Canada's canola business provides over $17 billion to the economy each year, while also employing approximately 250,000 people and earning $8.2 billion in wages. These data demonstrate that the canola business is not only crucial for exports, but is also a key pillar of Canada's agricultural economy, contributing significantly to job and income growth. In 2023, China imported 5.49 million tons of canola, with Canada accounting for 5.05 million tons, or more than 70%. Among them, Canada's canola oil sales to China reached $5 billion, a 170% increase year on year. According to these data, China is the major buyer of Canadian canola. China has just initiated an anti-dumping probe into Canadian canola and has not imposed any particular punishments. But this has already created market volatility. Domestic canola oil futures prices in China have surged dramatically, while Canadian canola prices have dropped precipitously. According to Canadian media reports, canola prices in several key agricultural provinces in Canada fell dramatically overnight, affecting the entire industry chain, from farmers to processors. If China eventually implements a policy restricting imports, it will be nearly impossible for Canada to find a suitable alternative market in a short period, and the canola seeds may become unsellable or even decay in the fields. At that time, Canadian farmers will face substantial income losses, which are expected to be as high as $950 million. In addition to beginning an anti-dumping probe against canola, China has announced another investigation into Canadian petrochemical exports. It is worth emphasizing that China is one of the most important markets for Canadian petrochemical products. If China severely restricts the import of these products, Canada's petrochemical industry will confront enormous hurdles, making it impossible to find alternative markets in a short amount of time, dealing a significant blow to the Canadian petrochemical industry. Furthermore, China has brought Canada's infractions to the World Trade Organization, accusing Canada of breach of contract on an international scale and using worldwide public opinion to intensify pressure. Even more startling is China's decision to launch an anti-discrimination probe against Canada, marking the world's first such investigation. It is worth noting that while the United States is Canada's top commercial partner, China remains second. If Canada continues to be confrontational and does not aggressively endeavor to mend relations with China, China is likely to impose further restrictive measures. Since the outbreak, Canada's economy has yet to fully recover. Many enterprises are on the verge of bankruptcy due to bad management, and many business owners have urged the government to take action to strengthen relations with China. In their opinion, only China's massive population market can help them get out of trouble and overcome obstacles. So the question is, do you believe Canada will opt to mend ties with China, or will it stick to its guns? To avoid missing out on future projects and news updates, please subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. We will continue to present you with exciting and engaging material.